I'm Erin Brown. I'm here with Burbs and Burbs. And my sister Cara. And her yoga space. We're sitting here on our meditation cushions, as one does. And I actually wanted to share your practices because I know that ours are a little bit different, but as is course in the book, talk a lot about movement for how you want to feel. So thinking about what your exercise or movement practice is going to be for that day, not about, lifting my butt, but just specifically, how do I want to feel today? So I'm curious what your practices look like and what that thought process looks like for you.
Mm-hmm. So I don't have like a regimen I follow necessarily. When I get up in the morning, I have some ideas of what I might want to do, but I just take a moment. First thing I do is meditate. So I take a moment to focus on my breath and do a quick mental scan of my body. Notice how I feel, any sensations, any areas of tightness, or maybe areas that I want to work on, like maybe my legs are really loose and I want to tighten them. So maybe I want to go for a nice run or do some nice squats at the gym, or maybe I'm feeling really tight because I did that the day before, and what would honor me best would be to do some yoga or some just easy stretching. And sometimes what I feel is, I don't really want to do anything. So that happens sometimes too, and I'm like, my body just wants rest, and sometimes I go back to bed, or I just have a long meditation. So I don't really like to have a plan. I just like to tune into my body and notice what's happening and then feed it whatever it needs.
What about so sometimes you're tired and you just go back to bed. No excuses. What about I think the concern in hearing that for some people is, what if I do that and then I do that for 6 months? How do you know when you need to go to bed and when you need to push through it?
Right. Well, I think it's easy to live in extremes, and I did for a long time. So I think the easy thing is to say no excuses, or the easy thing is to say, screw it, I'm going to bed. So those are kind of the easy ways. But if you're really in touch with what's going on in your body and you're really listening to your body's not going to tell you to go to bed every day for 6 months. It wants to move
unless there's a clear indication that something's not going well.
Right. And then if that's the case, like maybe you're dealing with depression, and then maybe what your body needs is more in the mind, and you need to seek some help with that, and there's no shame in that either. But the only way we can know is if we're really listening to our body and listening to our mind and knowing what's happening. But yeah, I don't think it's a concern, because your body isn't going to tell you to go back to sleep for 6 months.
Right. Or if you're a bear, might do that if you're a bear now anyway.
Yeah.
Also, just to be a jerk, like, okay, cool. So you get up every morning and scan your body. You have time and space to just really check in with how you feel. I don't have time. I'm a busy working mom.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. What do you say to that?
Well, I understand that I don't have children, so I do have that going for me. But I think you make time for what's important to you, and if it's important to you, you'll make time for it. And I get up at 5 a.m. so that I can do this. And a lot of my morning, I spend a lot of time preparing for whatever physical activity I'm doing, probably more so than the actual activity, because I do the meditation, and then I'll have a cup of coffee, which is not very yogi-like of me. It's part of what I do. So, yeah, it's just a part of my daily practice and a part of the me time I give myself, and it's so important to me that I'm willing to get up at 5 a.m. to do that.
And I know you have pretty set rituals, even though the activity might change.
Mm-hmm.
How does that change your day, or you having those rituals that you wake up for every day?
Mm-hmm. Well, it changes how I wake up, because I used to, push snooze 10 times. Have a really hard time getting up. And now I honestly, it sounds like something that you might be like, I just want to punch you in the face for saying this, but I am genuinely excited to get up every day. I get up and then I wake up and I'm like, oh, I get to I get to get up today, I get to go meditate, because if I don't do my ritual, I don't feel as good, even if my ritual ends up being sleep. Like I just wake up, if I wake up late and have to get up and go, I'm frazzled and I don't have the right mindset. I'm not as energized and focused, and I don't have a good of understanding of where my head's at for the day, where my body's at for the day, and it's just discombobulated, and then my day just feels like it's keeping me in instead of me really taking charge of the day.
For someone who's not necessarily a morning person, could you flip this around and do it as a bedtime ritual?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Or after work ritual?
Absolutely. I tend to be busy in the evenings because I do teach yoga, so I prefer to do it in the mornings, but you certainly could do it in the evenings.
Okay, like quick word association. And it's the exercise that goes with this feeling. Ready? Tired.
An exercise that goes with this feeling?
Yeah, if you feel like you're feeling groggy.
Oh, so tired, sleep.
That's your exercise.
That's the exercise. Or if you're just tired because you had enough sleep but you're just tired, sun salutations. We did it at the beginning. It's a good way to wake up. Sun salutations, you are literally greeting the sun.
So if you want to feel
Powerful, I would say breathing exercises, so pranayama, or weightlifting. Makes you feel really powerful. I know you like weightlifting.
What if you're feeling sad?
Sad, I love to do heart opening poses. Opening your heart chakra, it really allows you to feel that sadness, and sometimes I need to cry, and that always makes me cry if I need to. So,
What's that?
heart openers.
Is there a particular cry pose? I might need that.
Camel pose. So,
Oh yeah.
camel pose gets me sometimes. So in camel pose, your knees are at least hip distance apart. You support the low back, and then you just start to arch your back, looking back, opening your heart. You might even reach down through the heels eventually when you get enough space.
I always cry the ones on the floor, especially if it feels like a bolster to me, and I'm supposed to feel supported by the earth, like those words. I'm like, oh, I'm so supported by the earth.
Yeah, I mean, it's different for everybody.
I'm so supported. This is really big for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything else. I'm trying to think of another feeling or something. If you could just plan your week and you didn't have to scan your body or know how you were feeling, ideally, what do you do every week?
A combination of things. Usually what I end up doing is I run 2 or 3 days a week or walk. Well, I say run, but for me running is walk jogging through the trail. I'm not like I need to get my best time. I'm like, oh, look, there's a flower. It's pretty.
It's fine out there.
So that's what I do when I say run. But I probably run a couple days a week. I do some form of yoga every day, but sometimes that's just a sun salutation or just meditation, or I'm working on handstand. I'll do handstand practice for like 5 minutes. So I do some sort of yoga every day, but that's because that's what I love. So I understand that's not for everyone. And then weightlifting, I probably do that about 3 days a week.
Cool. Awesome. And all of that so that you can have a tight butt, right?
No. All of that so that I can feel good in my body, and I feel, like I feel good. Like I never like to feel overly sore. I never like to feel lethargic either. So just balanced.
One more thing. I know recently you started working out with a trainer and you were lifting in a new way, and you're working on your handstands, and I remember you commenting that you're getting like more shoulder muscles or some more upper body muscles than you've seen before. Can you talk just briefly, and it'll be the last thing, about being able to like notice and celebrate those kinds of physical changes without attaching to them?
So in yoga, we learn all about the ego and letting go of the ego. and I do celebrate when I see physical changes, but it's less about what it looks like and more about what I can do. So I like to celebrate, like, I can hold a handstand for a couple seconds longer because I have these muscles, rather than, oh look, I look awesome in a bikini top or something. So for me, celebrating what my body can do rather than what it looks like is I think a healthy way to celebrate.
Well, I just had a mini celebration the other day. I put on a shirt that didn't fit in a way that I liked, and I put it on and was like, hey! And I think there's a way to be like objective about that, and just like, okay, so that's what's happening right now, and go, yay, or not as thrilled with that, without attaching your whole worth to it. Right. You can notice, you can celebrate, you can have a whole range of feelings, but if you're not attaching your whole worth to it,
right,
then it's just what's happening.
And I think overall the goal should be feeling good, and not the overall goal should be looking good in this tank top. Right? Like, it feels good to look good in a tank top, sure, and that's fine. But if that's like your end goal, I don't think that's super healthy.
Well, it just isn't setting you up very well to be happy. Yeah, because you can be happy today, regardless of how the tank top works. But and on the other side of that more objective viewpoint, when the tank top didn't fit how I thought it went, I was like, well, that's what that is today. I think maybe I'll put on a different tank top. Yeah. Awesome, thank you. Yeah. Bye. Namaste. Just hands.